Cue the music, let's go. I'm your boy Ro, OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys, and welcome to another edition of Student of the... Hey, wait a second, there's no orange and green on the screen this week. That's because your Miami Hurricanes were on the bye. So bring on the Cardinal. This is from their recent game against Virginia. And let's go over to the film, shall we? One of the first things I noticed is they're in their 11 set personnel. Here's their tight end. One running back on the screen using motion. Virginia's going to check and come across the formation with this. This is an RPO, a good one, and it's going to leverage numbers quickly. You're going to notice right here, Virginia's not going to get upfield. They're going to basically employ an overhang defender. He's reading the mesh point, but I feel here the play is already won. 2-on-2 at the top. As you're going to see, the block comes out here to get the mic. Now you're 2 for 1 right here. You're responsible for this gentleman in the flat and the quarterback, okay? Now, I know that's not where the play went, and this is the thing that jumps out at me here, okay? Yeah, that's a touchdown. Virginia scored on a tush push earlier in the game. This just jumped out immediately because I was like, wow, this is a jitterbug, because right here, boom, you're going to get a little bit of a hole, and you got to make this play. So University of Miami linebackers, you got a lot to contend with this week, especially when you have this, because all intents and purposes, one-on-one situation, too much sauce right there. Just gets into the second level. Looking up, that's Isaac Brown, freshman, leads the ACC with an 8.61 yards per rush average. 508 yards after yesterday's game. You got to pay attention to the young man. You're on alert, defense. Louisville's going to play with your eyes now on defense. You got to pay attention to the pre-snap into post-snap window changes. Let's pay attention to the back end, what it looks like first. Listen, you have here. Looks like they're in press. This is definitely in press. 2 over the top, lined up. Look at the leverage. They're selling pretty hardcore that this is going to be man 2. One man, 2 safeties over the top. You have a 6-man box. So this on 1st and 10 is going to invite run, but pay attention, okay? And they got this timed really good, and I think this is a point of emphasis for them. They're waiting until after the first snap before they break, because now when the second one comes, look at what just happened. Now that 6-man box turned into a 7. Here's your overhang defender. This is 8. And they're going to go ahead and win this at the point of attack. We'll watch exactly how they win that at the point of attack. But your post-snap, pre-snap window changes, you might want to pay attention this week. A couple dummy counts wouldn't hurt you, so you can catch them. I would anticipate it. And there you go. Especially on early downs, they're showing pass, and they're inviting it so they can go ahead and clamp down the run. Now, here's something else. Defensive tackle right over here. Looks like a 3 technique. I think they're anticipating this pin and pull too, because what you saw right there, he gets real skinny real fast, right? He's not going ahead and playing this up. Watch what he's doing. I think this is all intentional from the rip. This is where he's reading a run key, and boom, he's sliding in. You see how he gets horizontal? He wins this clean. He gets into the backfield. So you have Louisville on this play, shows you that they can play with your eyes in the backfield, and they're going to win at the point of attack too if you're not careful. Now, as super effective as they can be running the ball, the University of Miami can exploit potentially a deficiency at the running back position in pass pro. 1st and 10, they're in the shadows of their own end zone. Louisville is going to take a shot, max protection. They're trying to get their wide receivers downfield on this play action give. Now you see the wide receivers, they're releasing, they're going downfield. Tight end staying in the block, running back staying in the block, and watch how easy we beat this. Forces the quarterback to work up into the pocket for the easy sack. In terms of mobile threat, out of the last 3 weeks playing Cal, then going back to Virginia Tech, I would say this is probably the least mobile of the 3, but the University of Miami still has to be on guard. Now, the other thing I found interesting, they're using slide protection. The whole offensive line is bolting to the left. University of Miami does have a pretty extensive simulated pressure look where they're trying to get the offensive line to react a certain way. Well, if the University of Miami can get the offensive line to go one way and isolate some guys on the tight end and the running back, I feel that is a matchup that the University of Miami should win more often than not. University of Miami are going to have a challenge in the run game this week. A lot of speed from the running back to get out here in the perimeter. They're going to motion into a bunch look, now setting the run strength and pass strength to the field. Old adage, you know it. Where the guard goes, the play goes. Actually, in this case, it doesn't. So got to trust your keys this week. Watch the guards. They're going to go ahead and pull out. Guard tackle going to pull out to the right. There you go. Takes a little bit of the flow bait with it. Look how they clamp down. They're reading that. Just a little delayed toss here. Now watch here. You're in position. You got to win your blocks. You got to get off. You got to trust your keys because watch how fast this gets out to the outside. Bad angle by the safety. Scored. Relatively easy. University of Miami, be on guard. Good running game coming in this Saturday. Earlier in the video, we talked about Lance Gidtry's penchant for using simulated pressure fronts. Well, on 3rd and 8, University of Virginia does its own. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to stack the line of scrimmage. You're trying to get the offensive line to make a call. They do. They're going to go ahead and block this essentially straight up. Earlier in the video, we saw them use slide protection. Running back went to the right. That probably would have been the better protection call here if we're going to be honest. And here's the vulnerability. Again, with the running back in pass pro, they're super effective runners. But in this pass pro, never a good look when you essentially are just going to let somebody come in clean, block no one, and your quarterback's taking that kind of a sack. So simulated pressure fronts, one in which you try to isolate the running back in a one-on-one situation or get him to whiff all together in his assignment, probably a good way to go. And again, University of Miami, in terms of getting the quarterback on the ground, probably a little bit easier this week. Again, but the challenge is going to be to get those running backs on the ground. Hey, the University of Virginia is going to score on a mesh variant, and no stranger to Shannon Dawson's offense. He has plenty of mesh concepts. All of college football pretty much does, if we're being honest. And a mesh, again, you're going to have crossers from opposite sides of the field where rubbing is racing. In the variant, they're going to run a mesh rail, and this is what's going to pop open. The rail is when the running back is going to take this down the rail of the sideline. So here you go, man concept, and here's where the breakdown happens for Louisville. Right here, I know this is man, because if you look, man here with the DBs, man here. So if you're in man concept, somebody's got to man up on the running back, and I'll tell you exactly who was supposed to. It's you, young man, and you don't. So something else happens on film. You got a linebacker losing somebody in coverage, and initially, that effort's not necessarily there either. You give it up in pass pro, a little lackadaisical at first, and that's going to go ahead and score to the house. University of Miami does have some speed. It can interject a Chris Johnson type, maybe to isolate on some linebackers. But, mesh rail hitting it, linebacker forgetting it. Pay attention. Hey, University of Louisville is finally going to hit that successful 1st and 10 play action pass from the shadows of their end zone play. But one of the subtle differences I noticed, now they have their battering ram running back coming in. So something you need to pay attention to, probably personnel-wise. They got victimized before in this play action pass from that. When their pass pro broke down here, it's going to go ahead and stand a little bit more sturdy. Gun 5 from the quarterback. Okay, so University of Miami not seeing a ton of that because I believe their pass rush is relatively too good and opposing offensive coordinators are trying to keep their quarterbacks healthy. You're anticipating your offensive line to hold up at the point of attack because, listen, he's back there. You're trying to buy time. They're trying to run a double move at the top of the screen. They do a good job here. Gives him all the time he needs. University of Miami need to pay attention to that and take advantage of that if they can. Good throw, good catch there. Now, one of the things that I have an issue, I'm going to back this up one more time. Safeties, we got to be on guard this week because in this situation, paying attention to the offensive line, they're the dead giveaway. And I don't understand this, where the safety ends up. They're backing away from the glass. This is play action all day long. You see the play action pass. Now look at the drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's doing a gun 5. So for the life of me, I have no idea why this safety is sucked in way down here. Can't have that happen. Have to have the eye discipline. They are screaming play action pass by the way they're coming off and shooting off as blockers. And it's a gun 5, and you're getting sucked up by I don't know what. And there you go. There's the double move, and it gets them inside plus territory. So got to be on guard, safeties. See, on the next clip, we're going to look at the gun 5 element. Now, it's a different pretense, right? The other play was on 1st and 10. This is going to be on 3rd and 13 when defensive linemen can notoriously pin their ears. But this is what I mean. Gun 5, quarterback is going to be kind of isolated in no man's land here. Right tackle's not getting deep enough. Quarterback is here, so we're basically putting us rushing the ball a little bit. Again, gun 5, When they're in that gun 5, we got to make them pay similar. If they want to take these big drops, now you're forcing the throw a little bit too soon. Bad ball throws this into double coverage and forces the interception. So, again, gun 5, and this is like flashbacks for me when Brad Kaya went up to Blacksburg and Mark Rick was the offensive coordinator. Lived a lot in this series, a lot of deep drops, wasn't really getting protected by the pocket. The pocket's essentially back here. You're behind the line of scrimmage, not in the pocket. We got good pass rushers. Hopefully we can make them pay in the same variety. And this is going to be the last clip of the evening and the nail in the coffin for the University of Virginia Cavaliers, who came in 4-1 on the season. This is going to be the final score for Louisville and the final points on the board. They're coming in, big boy football, 23 set personnel. I'm counting 2 running backs in 3 tight ends. And in this case, they lose sight of the fact that, hey, there's one of the tight ends is going to be wide open as a pass-catching option. But how does it happen? Well, again, University of Miami, got to be careful. Do not take the flow bait, especially from the guard position. Here you go. You got a guard pulling. Everything looks like it's coming to the top of the screen, and look at all the flow bait. Just sad that you would fight so hard, tooth and nail, and then you just lose sight of essentially really the only pass-catching option at the top of the screen. Easy pitch and catch. He's going to let you know about it. He's going to let you know that you took the L. Hopefully your Miami Hurricanes don't when they face off against Louisville. I'm your boy Ro, OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys. Stay safe, my friends, and as always, bang.